position, just feet equal distance, hip distance apart. Let's take a breath in and just reach up overhead for a moment. Stretch. Make yourself 3 inches taller in your mind's eye. And relax, release. One more time. Inhale, stretch. And exhale back down. And then just find your arms by your sides. Let's take a couple of shoulder shrugs all the way up towards your ears. Roll them back and down. And again, all the way up to your ears, roll them back and down. And then let's find a few little neck movements. So chin towards chest. Hang out there for a moment. Back to center. Little side to side motion with the neck. And back to center. Taking your right arm to hip. We'll take your left arm and reach it up tall. And then a little lean towards your right. And back to center, changing sides. Right arm reaches up, a little lean towards your left. And back to center, a couple more shoulder shrugs, all the way up to the ears, roll them back and down. And then from here, we're gonna find the top edge of your mat, feet together. And let's take arms to heart center for a moment, and we can fold forward. So as we fold forward, you are welcome to keep your knees bent here. You don't have to have knees straight. Just give yourself a little advantage depending on our hamstrings, the back of the legs. That way we can feel a little more comfortable with the stretch. Let the head relax. And then let's step your right leg back long here. So right leg is going to step back long. We'll make our way up to a high lunge. And as we find our way here, just letting the shoulders relax, release away from the ears. Finding a length through our upper body. Breathing. And then arms to heart center. Reaching down towards the ground, planting your right arm. Let's lift the left arm for a twist. And then we're untwisting. From here, let's step the right leg in to meet the left leg. And then the left leg steps back long. And we're finding that high lunge on this side. Reaching down. We can plant the left arm, right arm can lift for a twist. And we're untwisting, stepping your left leg in to meet the right leg. Let's take a little side to side weight shift here, just easing into this forward fold. And then soften through the knees all the way up to standing. Take a reach. Arms to heart center, and then just relax them by your sides. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, I invite you to do so. And just take a pause. Notice how your whole body feels this morning after a little bit of movement now. Check in. Allow yourself space to breathe. Just activating all your senses, allowing your body to be fully present. It's hard to turn off the overactive brain. Maybe there's lots of things going on that you're trying to still separate from. Maybe not. Just kind of notice where you're at mentally. And then let's take arms to heart center. If eyes are closed, you can open them. And folding forward, we're going to step back to a down dog. If you want to skip down dog, you can come to hands and knees, totally fine if you prefer. Otherwise, in down dog, feel free to keep the knees bent a little bit. press the ground away from you so you're shifting your hips back. And you just enjoy a nice stretch through your spine here. Inhale, exhale. Maybe it feels good to pedal one heel and then the other. Finding a little calf stretch here. And then we can lower the knees and we'll also find a child's pose. So knees a bit wide, heels are together. We can just rock the hips back any amount. Feel free to reach your fingertips forward any amount. If we're taking care of shoulders, you can always bend your elbows and just rest through your forearms if that feels better on your shoulders. Otherwise, from our child's pose, I invite you just to take a couple deep breaths. As you breathe in, feel the belly kind of press downward, and then the back of the rib cage will expand like 360 degrees. And on the exhale, just imagine a lengthening through your whole spine, tailbone to crown of head. So taking a couple more breaths that way. And then we're gonna make our way up towards hands and knees, finding some cat and cow here. So on the inhale, we can drop the navel, and on the exhale, we can round your spine upward. Feeling free to move at your own pace, and just find some gentle motion through your spine, connecting all parts of your spine. Perhaps noticing areas that don't want to move as much, or maybe there's a few stiff areas. Maybe a couple more here. And then eventually coming back to our neutral hands and knees position, we'll take the right leg and reach it back long. And the left arm can reach forward. And then changing sides, left leg, right arm. And back in. Tucking toes, we'll make our way back up to down dog. And then walking our feet forward towards our hands. Again, feel free to bend your knees as you get closer if it's a reach. And then we're rising all the way to standing. And arms to heart center. From here, folding forward, stepping then your right leg back. And we're gonna find a warrior one here. So the back heel can come down, toes are out. And then we're lifting the arms up, warrior one. Breathing in, breathing out. Again, allowing our bodies to be fully present. And then arms to heart center. From here, we're gonna reach down to the ground and then take just a little standing split. So right leg can lift for a little stretch behind you. And then let's draw that right leg in to meet the left leg. Bending the knees, we'll find our chair pose. You're welcome to keep arms down if that feels better too. Either way, overhead or heart center. Just find what feels best for the shoulders. And then all the way up to standing, taking a reach. And arms to heart center. Folding forward. Left leg is going to step back to find that warrior one. Back heel down, toes are out a bit. And then making our way up to that warrior one. Finding your breath here, settling in with strong legs. centered. We're going to reach down for that standing split stretch, reaching a little in front of that right leg, perhaps taking a leg lift on that left. And then we can draw that leg in to meet the right leg. Bending through the knees, we'll find chair pose again. Inhale, exhale. And all the way up to standing. Taking a reach. And arms to heart center. Folding forward. Let's step the right leg back long. And we're going to do a little spin move to the right to find our warrior two. So come on up and then spin towards your right. And now the left knee is going to be bent, right knee is going to be straight. You guys got it. Warrior two, letting the shoulders sink away from the ears, reaching long through the fingertips. Finding your breath here. And now let's reverse the warrior. Right arm down, left arm reaches high. Back through, we're finding warrior two. Let's find our side angle, left elbow towards thigh, or you can reach the arm down towards the ground. If a bind is in your practice, feel free to take a bind here, your choice with your arms. Maybe you want to make it a extended side angle with that right arm reaching over a little further. As we're ready, releasing and finding our warrior two again. Let's straighten that left knee. We can turn palms up, shifting towards your left and down for triangle. And from here, let's take a big circle with that right arm. Just a nice big slow circle, one direction. Tucking the tailbone and the other direction with the arm. And then bending your left knee as we're ready, coming back to our warrior two here. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's take arms to heart center here. We're going to pivot the left heel so it's facing the same as the right heel. So just a wide leg position on our mat. And then folding forward, we can find our inner thigh and hamstring stretch here. So just forward fold. And then if you'd like to, you can add a little side to side motion. So bending your right knee, taking that inner thigh stretch on the left. You're welcome to hold or go side to side, your choice. Maybe you want to go low and take the ankle and turn it up, or maybe you want to stay high. See what your body feels like it needs this morning. Eventually, as you've explored side to side, finding middle, and then softening through the knees, let's roll on up, nice and slow, and then we'll take arms to heart center, pivoting back around this direction, and then reaching down towards the ground. Let's find a little hip stretch here, so right knee can lower, and then just shifting the hips forward, finding your version of hip stretch that feels okay. You can stay one arm in either side of the foot, or you can take both hands on the inside of that left leg for a lizard, or you can take both arms overhead. Lots of options here. So feel free to explore, see what your body feels like it needs this morning. to shift towards your right knee and take your left leg out to the side. Watch out for your neighbor. And then your left toes will be facing this direction. Yep. And then from here we can take a little shifting of the hips back for that inner thigh stretch on the left side. And then rocking forward. We're going to take that left leg, lift it, bring it around, cross it over the right leg, a little pointy toe here. Again, watch out for your neighbor, sorry. And then sink into or lean towards your left hip a bit. So you may feel a little left outer hip stretch. If you're not at all tight, then you won't. But most of us will feel a little if you're just leaning in towards that left hip. And then release, back to hands and knees. Let's tuck toes and find our down dog. Breathing in, breathing out. And walking our feet forward. Again, feel free to bend your knees as you get closer. And then rising all the way to stand. Let's take arms together, a little lean towards your left. Back to center and towards your right. Back to center, folding forward. We're going to step your left leg back, long. And we're doing that little spin move to find warrior two on your left. So your right knee will end up bent and your left knee will be straight. You guys got it. So right knee bent, left knee straight, warrior two. From our warrior two, let's reverse the warrior. Your left arm down, right arm lifts. Other right arm, there you go. And back through, warrior two. Finding our side angle, so right elbow towards thigh, or you can reach the arm down towards the ground. Want to take a bind, you can. Yeah, you can take that elbow to thigh, might feel better. Checking in, making sure we're still breathing here. And then eventually releasing back to warrior two. Let's straighten that right knee. We can turn palms up. Shifting towards this direction and down for triangle. So we're tucking the tailbone here, and then our left arm can make a nice big circle one direction. And then the other direction. Bending through that right knee then, and back up. Warrior two. We're going to skip our wide leg stretches that we did on the other side and do something a little different this time. So from here, we'll still square up the legs a bit, but we're going to find our goddess pose. So feet are a bit apart, knees are pressing out, arms are like so. I'm going to rearrange. So from here, we're going to take arms to heart center, pivot towards me, and then warrior three. And arms come back in. We go through goddess pose again. And then pivot left. You guys got it, warrior three. And so feel free, we're going to kind of go back and forth there. And see how smooth you can make it. You can come back and forth a little faster. You can go a little slower, your choice. So let's take a few rounds back and forth here. eventually. Arms to heart center. We're gonna pivot back to face this direction. Your right leg will be in front and we can reach down and take that left knee down now for our hip stretch on this side. So again, you're welcome to take both arms on the inside of that right leg. You can take arms up. You can leave arms down. See what your body feels best with this morning. And then from here, we're gonna shift towards your back leg. Right leg's gonna come straight out to the side with the toes facing me. And then we're taking that inner thigh stretch, a little rock back to feel that right inner thigh. Shifting forward, we're gonna take that right leg, lift it, bring it across the other leg, little pointy toe, so we're just gonna point that toe in the sand, yep, and then lean in towards your right hip. So you're leaning into that right hip. And then we can release that leg back in. Let's take a brief child's pose here. So rocking the hips back. You're welcome to rest through forearms or reach the arms out, either way. And just take a few breaths here. See how everything's feeling. Check in with your body. Make our way back upright, finding hands and knees, tucking toes. We're going to move back through down dog. And take a breath in and out here. And then walking your feet towards your hands, bending through the knees, all the way up to standing. Take a stretch, arms to heart center. Rooting through your right leg. We're going to take our eagle pose. So left knee lifts, crossing it over, finding thighs towards each other, and then just hinge at your hips like you're going to sit in a chair. You can keep arms heart center, or if you want, you can add eagle arms. So left will come underneath right. Eventually releasing and back to 2 feet. Good work. Give your right ankle a little wiggle and on towards the left. Rooting through your left foot. A lift of that right knee. Cross it over. Sitting the hips back. Again, your choice if you want to work to balance here with arms at heart center. Pick a non-moving spot to gaze on that can help with your balance. Arms out, or add your eagle arms right underneath left. We're drawing the elbows up to the plane of the shoulders, and then we can pull the shoulders open and wide. Here too, checking in, making sure we're still breathing, enjoying the breeze. Releasing back to 2 feet. Nice work. Take a little side to side weight shift here. Just bring the body back together. And then let's take our tree pose. Arms to heart center. We can root through your left leg first. Right foot coming inner thigh or calf. Your version of tree pose. you want to, you can add the arms. Again, finding a spot to gaze on that doesn't move to help with the balance. And then can we just find some relaxed breathing here? Noticing what our breath does as our physical body encounters a bit more of a challenge. And arms to heart center. Amazing job. Let's go on to the other leg. Right leg rooting left leg, your version of tree pose. Nice job. Arms to heart center. And we can lower the leg back down. Again, just take a pause, a little side to side weight shift. And then we'll find the top edge of our mat. Let's bring the arms back down by your sides. Again, if you're comfortable closing eyes, I invite you to do so for a moment. And just take a pause. Feel your feet in contact with the mat. Feel the ankles on your feet, the knees on top of your ankles, the hips on top of your knees. All the way up the spine, wide shoulders, and perhaps lengthening out the crown of your head so the head is sitting right on top of our body. And here we take a deep breath in and out. Just with curiosity, observing how you feel physically, mentally. One more breath here before we move on. And then we can take arms to heart center. If our eyes are closed, we may want to open them and then fold forward. Let's step back to our down dog for a moment here. And just taking an inhale and a nice sigh out with the exhale. So inhale through nose and then just sigh out the mouth. Feels kind of nice here. So and you can totally make a noise as you sigh out. It's kind of a fun position to take that audible sigh. And then let's lower our knees. We're going to come to a seated position. From sitting, let's take your right leg and tuck it in. Feel free if you need to adjust to make space for your neighbor and yourself. So your right leg will be tucked in, and then your left leg will be out to the side. And so from here, we're reaching towards your left leg with that left arm. Right arm can stay down or it can lift overhead, either way. If it feels okay, come on up onto that right knee and we can take a little counter stretch here. So we lift the hips forward, just stretch that arm overhead. Usually it feels kind of nice. And then lowering back down, changing sides. So right leg out straight towards the side, tucking the lefty in, reaching towards that right leg wherever the arm reaches. And maybe the left arm wants to go up overhead, or maybe it wants to stay down. Either way is okay. onto our back for a couple more things. So once you find your way to your back, we'll bend knees and take a bridge here. So feet hip distance apart, press into your feet, lift the hips, and we're taking a bridge. Perhaps you want to wiggle the shoulder blades together underneath you or interlace the arms in that bridge. Feel free. Releasing the arms if they're interlaced, lowering the hips back down. Let's just take a little side to side knee wiggle here, just releasing tension through your low back, through your hips. And then we can take another bridge, pressing into your feet, lifting your hips, keeping the neck relaxed. If wheel is in your practice and you'd rather do a wheel, that's totally fine. And then lowering back down, releasing, and again, taking a gentle windshield wiper movement. That can lead us into our rotation stretch. So let's cross left leg over right leg with the knees bent. And then, so eagle leg position, left over right, thighs towards each other. And then we're letting the knees fall towards the right. Just allowing our arms to rest by our sides, or if you have space, out to the sides. Just taking a few breaths here. Letting your neck and shoulders relax and release. Your outer hip. Your hip creases. Your jaw. Your forehead. The area behind your eyes. Take another breath or two here, and then we can unwind. As you're ready, shifting your way to midline, and then changing the cross of the legs, so right over left, and then we're letting the knees fall towards your left. Notice any side-to-side differences here too. Maybe it feels similar, maybe it feels different than the other side did. Allowing your body just to tune into some restoration, some relaxation, breathing. As you're ready, then slowly drawing your knees back towards midline, feeling free to unwind there. And we're gonna reach your left foot up towards the sky, any amount. It's okay if your knee doesn't straighten. And just take a few ankle movements here, up and down. Maybe you want to bend and straighten your knee a few times too. So just take some lengthening through the hamstring there. And then changing sides. Just taking a nice gentle slider of that sciatic nerve as it comes down from your low back all the way down into your foot. And all its splits that it does. And then releasing that leg back down. Let's hug left knee to chest here. If it feels all right, you can take your right leg out straight. So hugging left knee to chest, right leg out straight. And you're welcome to stay here, or if you want to add a spinal twist, then the right arm will pull that left leg across your body gently. Maybe you feel that outer left glute stretch, or maybe you want to go into more of a twist, your choice. If we're real tense in that outer left glute, sometimes it feels nice to just pause there. And see if you can let your right leg just relax. Sometimes we hold our right leg tense without even realizing it. Giving ourselves permission to turn the right leg off. And then changing back to center, let's draw both knees to chest. And then we can release the left leg out straight. And then keep the right knee to chest. So now we're turning off the left leg. We can use the left arm to pull your right leg across the body. Finding that outer hip stretch or more of a spinal twist, your choice. Just allowing the body to rest and breathe and observe. Eventually coming back, hugging both knees to chest. Maybe a little side to side rock feels good on that low back. And then we can find our feet flat with the knees bent. We're gonna do just a little shoulder stretch to finish with. So bracing through the core, belly, reaching your arms up overhead. Maybe the thumbs touch the sand, maybe they don't. We're plastering the spine downward. Palms are facing each other. And then now maybe keeping the arms there, we can stretch the legs out straight as they want to go. Making ourselves feel 3 inches taller. And then arms can come back in, legs can come back in. And feel free, take a pause to just check in with your body. See if it still feels like it needs to do any other little stretches or movements. And if not, we'll finish with our Shavasana. And you can be on your back with your knees bent or straight. You can be on your side. If you prefer to sit, that's fine. either way. We'll just take a pause here to kind of bring it all together, your whole practice. My voice projects a little bit easier if I'm sitting, so I'll sit up, but you guys are welcome to sit down. And just bringing your awareness back to your breath now, feeling the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe in through the nose if that's accessible, and breathing out through nose or mouth. Taking an opportunity to notice physically how your whole body feels. Letting go of judgment or expectations for how maybe it should or should not feel, and just accepting whatever you notice. Also checking in mentally. With curiosity. Allowing yourself an opportunity just to be fully present. Quieting the chatter that sometimes takes over for us in our minds. Just bringing our awareness back to sensation. Practicing that choice for our internal and external environments of health and wellness. As you feel ready, I invite you to bend your knees, and you can make your way over to a side of choice, and then eventually back upright to a seated position. We'll all meet in a seated position. Once we're here, just finding a tall posture, tall seated posture. Calling to mind something that you are grateful for today. Just taking a pause, thinking of something. It doesn't have to be profound, maybe it's just the breeze. Just finding something that you have gratitude for. From here, we can close out our class with our usual greeting. Taking arms to heart center. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me this morning. Namaste.